Hi everyone, my name is Patrick and I'm very glad that you are joining me here today again, hopefully again. Today's topic is a little bit different and hopefully a little bit shorter than usual. My videos tend to be quite long, to be honest. So today's topic is actually just the future of the Pool of Babel, so my stake pool, and the future of my own life basically, and how these two things will converge and work together. And yeah, if you're interested, just keep watching. I'm gonna switch over to my other screen, or to my main screen actually. And yeah, as you can see, I have this website of the Pool of Babel open. I'm sure you've seen it before if you've watched my videos so far. I tend to show it a lot because I kind of like it, to be honest. And it needs a little bit of updating. But basically what I want to talk about is, that when I started the pool, it was, I believe, November last year, November 2020, or maybe October. I'm not completely sure, to be honest. But yeah, November last year, and the price of Cardano was, or of ADA was around 10 cents, so not very high. And my initial goal with the pool was basically just to get back the money that I spent for server costs. So like $200 or so. And then, the price of ADA skyrocketed. Somehow I got a lot of delegation to the pool, which I'm very grateful about. If we take a look at ADA pools, right, we can see that the Pool of Babel is currently at 5.8 million ADA delegated, which is absolutely amazing. I mean, that's over 6 million euros, which is blowing my mind, honestly. And that's amazing, and that enables me to produce multiple blocks every epoch, which I'm very glad about, because the delegators benefit from that and I benefit from that. It puts me in a very privileged situation where I'm actually able to live off just the rewards for my pool. And the main problem here is, though, that this is basically all dependent on some few big delegators, right? So it's not very stable. So we have these 3.2 million ADA from IOG, which are from the IOG delegation, right? So they're gonna disappear in 2 months. And I'm very happy about that. I'm very grateful to have been selected for that. But they're limited. Then we have some other delegators, so basically these two, so one with 1.3 million and one with 1 million, which I don't know. And I'm very glad that they are staking on the Pool of Babel, but it's also a big risk. So basically, if these people leave, I'm just done. I won't be able to produce blocks every epoch anymore, and it's going to be very difficult to get back up. So basically the number that's more important is the number of total delegators, right? So we have 37 delegators, which is amazing. 37 people have put money on this pool. Okay, maybe a little bit less, because I think 3 of them are my own my own wallets, but the others are real people. And that's amazing, because the more people you have, the more you spread your risk, basically. So yeah, as you can see, we have these graphs here, so they are quite complicated if you just look at them at once. So the purple one is the luck over lifetime, which is steadily growing, which I'm very happy about. I think the current luck is actually quite high. Yeah, it's at 92%, right? So I'm hoping to get this lifetime luck a lot higher. Also, it's kind of weird that lifetime luck here is 92% and lifetime luck here is 62%. I don't know why that's the case. Weird. Okay, and then the blocks are this red line. You can see we had our ups and downs, and currently it's at a pretty stable level. This epoch we also produced blocks, and next epoch we're also going to produce blocks, and that's going to continue for the next like 10 or 12 epochs or so, which is very important, of course. But my most favorite line is this blue line, because that's the line of total delegators, and as you can see, it's been growing steadily, which I'm so happy about, because every single delegator matters, and the more we have, the more stake we have, the more spreading of the risk we have, and that's the one thing I'm focusing on. But I actually didn't want to talk about all this too much, to be honest. I kind of got into it just now. So yeah, what do I want to do in the next month with the pool? So number one thing is, if we click on About, you can see that I currently run 2 relay servers. So one in Frankfurt and one in Maltepe, which is in Istanbul, Constantinople. And and I'm also running a third server, which is hidden, which is the block producing server, right? So I'm running 3 servers, and my goal is definitely to increase this, because obviously the more servers you have, the more the stability of the network is guaranteed, and they all interact with each other, and then also the speed increases if not all servers are at one point. Like you can have like a faster connection to other servers which are not so far away. And I'm just gonna open my favorite map here. So this highly underrated tool from Monad Pool, which shows the locations of all the servers in the world, basically all the relay servers from Cardano, and every point equals at least 1 relay, most often more than 1. So you can see that many servers are in Frankfurt, like mine too, of course. Many servers are in London, many servers are in North America, and very few servers are in South America, Africa, Middle East, and stuff like that. Which of course makes sense, and it also makes sense that a lot of servers are in Frankfurt, because Frankfurt is obviously one of the most important points for the internet connection in Europe. So all the data centers in Europe basically are in Frankfurt, like all the important ones. And that makes it extremely cheap to rent servers in Frankfurt, which is a huge benefit, of course. My servers in Frankfurt, they cost me almost nothing, to be honest. And and if you want to open up more servers, it gets kind of complicated, because you could just Google, okay, where can I rent a server in Tunisia? I think that's Tunisia. Yeah, or is it? Or is this one Tunisia? This is Tunisia. Or is it? Oh my god, I've been there 2 times. I don't know. I feel so bad. Never mind that. Please ignore my lack of knowledge about the world. So basically it's hard to find services that rent out servers in certain countries. You can find them, but oftentimes they are extremely expensive. So I found a few in Egypt, and they're like incredibly expensive, like unaffordably expensive. It's just not worth it. And I found the one in Istanbul, which is called Hostiger, which is quite like okay-ish from the money perspective. So I'm using that, and I'm always on the hunt for new ways to spread my relay service around without using AWS or like other services, Google Cloud and Microsoft and all that stuff. And it's quite hard, but I'm committed to doing that more so in the future. I want to open up more relay servers in the world, and I want to keep like a good balance between pretty exotic relay servers like this one in Istanbul. I chose this specifically because there are quite a few, or only a few relay servers in Istanbul. So exotic relay servers, and also extremely stable relay servers, because you also want to have like a very good guarantee that the network is extremely stable and your pool is extremely stable. So I want to have some more servers in Germany actually, and with providers that I trust, maybe not only in Germany, but just providers that I really trust. I've had many difficulties with Hostiger. I'm really unhappy with them. They're extremely unstable, and they blocked my IP address and stuff like that. It's really weird. yeah, so I'm not happy with them at all, but it works, and I have to take it into consideration that sometimes these servers just fail. And then I need to have enough other servers that are stable enough and maybe have some exotic ones that are currently running so that my pool never goes offline, of course. That's the main goal. And I think that's very doable. And I'm committed to doing that. I'm also going to open up a server right here, somewhere here, basically because I'm in a very privileged situation where I can open up one of the most independent servers in the Cardano network, actually. I'm pretty sure it could be like the most independent server in the Cardano network if I really wanted to, because actually my father runs like a small ISP company, so internet service provider company. So they have their own internet. They're not reliant on any of the big internet. Like they're kind of reliant, but not totally. Internet providers like Telekom in Germany or like AT&T or I don't know what other countries use, right? So they're extremely independent. And if I run a server there, like a bare metal server, no one else would be able to stop the server in any case. Like I could even use, solar grids and then have it run on my own internet and then run on the solar grid, and then it's basically uncensorable, unstoppable, and I think that's a very powerful idea, because every other server is somehow very reliant on a central authority. I mean, it's almost impossible to get all of them offline, right? Because they're so spread around the world, and you would have to do a lot of work, and it's almost impossible. But still, I could go and I could say, okay, let's contact, I don't know, Telekom in Germany, our main ISP, and say, okay, let's close all of these servers here. And they are pretty much all running on Telekom, I'm very sure. So yeah, so that's definitely a problem, and you want to have at least a few of these bare metal servers which are very independent. If I have my own internet in combination with that, then it's really cool, actually. I mostly do it because it's cool, not because it's that important, but you get the point. Yeah, actually, I just saw something. Which server is that? That's incredible. Oh, blue. Which country is that? No idea. Need to check this out later. Okay. Yeah, so I talked a lot, but the main point is I want to open up more relay servers in more countries around the world in the next months. And I also want to keep making these YouTube videos, of course. I'm not going to be like a super engaged YouTube content creator. That's not my goal. I'm not made for YouTube. I just do it because I kind of want to promote the server and tell you a little bit about Cardano, and it's my favorite topic at the moment. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing it the way it's currently done. I'm also extremely happy for 1,000 followers on Twitter. So thank you for that. I'm gonna keep using Twitter, of course, and it's a lot of fun. It's actually incredible how active the Cardano community is on Twitter. And also, by the way, I applied for the Cardano Ambassador program. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get it. I'm like, there's a slight chance that I might get it, to be honest. But it would be cool. I just did it for the funds because I like talking about Cardano. I do it anyway, so why not apply for the ambassadorship? And I'm very committed to the project in general, right? So yeah, why not? And yeah, so that's coming on the pool side for now. Another thing is basically, as you might have seen, I've launched the Babel Coin recently. It might be not down here somewhere. Yeah, so I launched the Babel Coin. I sent it out to quite a few people already. It's at the moment a completely useless, worthless coin or token. It's just a fun project to try out native tokens, basically. But these tokens exist and you can do stuff with them. And I'm not quite sure yet what I'm going to do with it. At the moment, it's quite expensive to send them to other people because you have to pay around 2 ADA each just for sending them. So you can't do a transaction with just Babel coins and no ADA, which is kind of bad. And I hope that gets changed in the future. But at some point, I definitely want to make like a program where I automatically send out Babel coins to every Babel Pool delegator, like every epoch or every month or something like that. And then maybe, have some cool applications. Like you could, for example, have a, like a raffle where you put all the Babel coins in, and then one lucky winner would get some ADA, or I don't know, something like that. Maybe also not a raffle, maybe some other more fun application. I'm not sure yet, but I'm gonna find some use case for the Babel coins. It's it's fun and it's very cool. And they're currently, which I'm very happy about. They're currently still ranked number 2 on, or at least I hope they are. Yeah, here, Cardano assets, they are ranked number 2 behind the space coins, which we all know and love, of course. I also own some space coins. They're ranked number 2 in terms of transactions. So over 1,000 transactions have been done with the Babel coins. I think that many of these transactions are actually not Babel coin transactions, but regular ADA transactions, because if you have them in your ADA wallet and then they're on the same address as your ADA, and you send something with your address to another person, then basically you always create a new transaction, and then the Babel coins also get transacted, even if you just send them back to yourself. It's basically how it works behind the scenes. It's not very relevant, but these transactions are definitely not because 1,032 people really actively tried to send Babel coins to someone, right? But it's still super awesome to have this number here and be on the 2nd rank, even if it's just a fun token. It's gonna be one of these things which I'm going to look back on in 10 years, and I'm gonna say, back then when the native tokens launched, I was there, right? Yeah, so we'll see what's going to happen with the Babel coins. But now a little bit more about my current life situation. So I'm currently writing my bachelor thesis about a Cardano decentralized application, actually. So I'm studying computer science, as you might know, and yeah, I'm finally going to finish my bachelor program soon, hopefully. And I've picked a Cardano-centric topic, but it's not only Cardano. It's basically, I actually wanted to show you this. I don't know why I didn't open it up. Need to turn off some things here. Yeah, so basically what I want to do is build a decentralized 3D web kind of thing. So it's basically a little bit like Decentraland, if you know that. And the idea is to have like this huge 3D world where you can walk around with an avatar, and you can see other people that also walk around in this world. You can interact with them, and then you have like different cells, and then you can go into one cell, and this cell might be owned by person X, and person X has decided to put his house in the cell, or a castle, or a minigame, or something like that, right? Completely user-generated content. And then you can walk further, and then you come to another cell, and then that cell is owned by someone else, and then that person is also has also put some content in there. And you personally could also basically own a cell and then put some content in there, and it would all be on this huge like huge map which is forever expanding, and there could be millions of cells, and every cell would be comparable to like a website on the browser. I'm not sure why I have Twitter open. So yeah, it could be like a website on a browser, and you could have a lot of user-generated content. And I'm really into 3D and into VR and into the metaverse stuff and into, you know, Ready Player One type scenarios. I even have this Oculus Quest here, actually, Oculus Quest 2, which is really, really fun. I recommend it. It's quite cheap in comparison to the other VR glasses, at least. And yeah, so I'm dreaming of this, you know, this VR world where we all spend our times in, and we work in, and we live in, and we play in. And I want to get to this metaverse thing. And I think VR is extremely underrated at the moment. And you know, I think it's very obvious that someday something like this is going to come, and it might not be as cool as I imagine it to be. And there's a high chance that Facebook is actually going to develop this, because Facebook is the only company at the moment with a lot of resources, a lot of talent, and a lot of work that is being put into VR. And there's gonna be like a huge MMO type world with user-generated content at one point. But the main problem is that there's a high chance if someone like Facebook develops it, or it might not even be Facebook, it might be Microsoft or Roblox. Roblox is actually amazing, but it's all centralized, right? So the centralization part is a big problem. And if you imagine this really big world and this basically 3D internet where you spend most of your time in, then you don't want this to be in the hands of like a company or like a centralized force. So yeah, so basically what it means is we need to come up with decentralized ideas on how to solve this, something like the internet, basically. And there are many cool projects like Decentraland. Oops. What is this? Decentraland, which is kind of doing what I just described with the cells and stuff. And I was really pissed, to be honest, when I found out about Decentraland, because I had the idea before I knew about Decentraland, and then, you know, I found out about Decentraland, and then I realized, oh no, they're doing exactly what I want to do, but they're not doing it in a very well thought through way. So Decentraland is worth like, I don't know, $1.5 billion or something like that. And the products that they have are basically nothing special. It doesn't really work very well. It's not being used a lot. It's just no real competition. And it's also only on the browser. And I think it's very important to have it as a standalone version, and also for VR, of course. So basically what I want to say is I can do it a lot better than Decentraland, with more of this, you know, this browser and protocol type of thinking behind it, and not like this gaming thinking behind it, because I think something like this could be way bigger than just some random games with some silly graphics. Yeah, so that's what I'm working on for my bachelor thesis. Let me show you real quick. It's super rough. So this is I've never shown this to anybody. Okay, so basically, yeah, this is by the way what a game engine looks like. So it's very rough, as you can see, and there are many VR glasses in there, and I'm controlling this little character. I can walk around. It's super alpha, pre-alpha actually. It's just for the thesis at the moment, and I'm still working on it, so, you know. But the interesting part are actually these it's kind of weird that I'm pointing at my screen, because you can't really see anything, right? Or you can't really see where I'm pointing at. So yeah, the main thing are these VR glasses that are always spawning when I walk to the next cell, because that means basically that another cell gets added to the end of the map here, and then the content of the cell, in this case these VR glasses, let me check this real quick, right? So these are the cells, and the content of these cells, so these VR glasses, gets loaded via IPFS. And IPFS is basically a protocol like HTTP for transmitting very large data via peer-to-peer. So not via a centralized server like in the standard World Wide Web thing. So we don't have like a server where Netflix is running on, for example, but we have like all these actors. Everybody who owns or who plays this game would be an actor and would host content and would also consume the content. And that makes it very scalable and very decentralized. And this is combined basically with the idea that we have that we host this 3D content on this decentralized network, this IPFS network, and then we have like something like an HTML type of file that decides what is running on this, or what is actually on this cell. So I have these XML files, which are just plain text files, and they say, okay, at position 111 or something like that, in the cell would be this, this VR 3D model, VR glasses 3D model. And then the program reads this and says, okay, yeah, then I'm gonna load this VR 3D model from the IPFS network, and I'm gonna place it inside of the cell. And that's very cool, because now what you can do is you can actually have this XML file, so the equivalent to an HTML file for the World Wide Web, right? You can have it and also place it in IPFS, and in IPFS you can reference this file basically by using its hash. So the hash value of the file, which is like a short value which identifies the file. And now what's interesting is that I could write this hash value into a token on Cardano. So into a non-fungible token. And now we would have, like, for every cell a non-fungible token, and the person who owns that non-fungible token basically owns the cell and decides what kind of content would be inside of the cell. And you can change the content, and you can sell the content, and you can sell the cells, and you create this huge marketplace, and you create this huge economy and this huge world with 3D content, and it's gonna be super easy to create, because that's at least the goal. You can just write this XML file, and there are gonna be like some visual editors and stuff like that, and then you put some 3D content in there, and then you upload it to the blockchain by just using a smart contract. That's it. It hopefully costs you only the transaction fees for Cardano, so 0.2 ADA. And and that's basically my vision for a decentralized 3D world. But of course, as you can see, this is extremely rough. This is only my bachelor thesis at the moment, and I'm still super early in the bachelor thesis as well. I haven't really written anything yet, but yeah, that's what I'm working on as one of my projects. And I'm also going to maybe put in a Project Catalyst funding proposal at one point, because this is really a passion project for me, and I want to keep working on that, and I desperately need some money for that, because I'm not a designer, and this is really big and difficult, and you need to consider a lot of things. So yeah, you definitely need some other people to work on this too. And at one point I'm just gonna put in a Project Catalyst proposal, but you're gonna learn more about it when the time is ripe. I don't know if you can say ripe. That's what we say in Germany. Yeah, so that's what I'm working on the one hand, right? I'm writing my bachelor thesis about Cardano. On the other side, I'm also trying to found a company with some friends at the moment. So I want to build a company, like a startup, and we've been in heavy debates about what our company should do, and we finally decided on decentralized insurance. I can't really tell you more at the moment because it's not all figured out yet, and we're working on it, and it's in the early stages, and as I also don't want to spoil anything, and there are many plans that could change in the future, but the goal is basically to build a decentralized insurance platform on top of Cardano, and we are actually planning to apply for the exist exist fund, which is a German fund from my state basically, and you can get some funding for a specific time period, so 1 year. You would get funding to basically full-time work on your project. You won't have to give away any parts of your company, and it's basically just funding from the from the state, which is very cool. And we're not sure if we're going to get it, of course, but we're trying our best. We're definitely going to try it. And I actually have a meeting for that on Wednesday. So yeah, we'll see. That would be absolutely amazing. And the other thing that we're of course thinking about is also Project Catalyst, because Project Catalyst is a very good way to get some funding in for the early stages of your startup, and to if we build something on Cardano like this decentralized insurance, people would definitely be interested. I'm pretty sure about that. I mean, that's what Cardano is about. Insurance is one of the key pillar stones of finance, and it's one of the main things which are missing in third world countries. And yeah, that's why we want to focus on that. And I'll tell you more when the time is ripe. But I'm definitely extremely excited for that. So yeah, I can't wait to figure out more. I'm working all day at the moment on this, and I should be doing more for my bachelor thesis, to be honest. But yeah, so basically what's happening is I'm working on 2 amazing Cardano projects right now. And I also have the stake pool, of course, and I'm gonna be finishing with university soon. So for the stake pool, I'm also in the process of founding a company in Estonia, because I don't want to have any trouble with funding the company and then potentially moving out of the country, which would be difficult if I would found the company in Germany. So I want to have the company in Estonia, which is also part of the EU. And I've been reading a lot about taxes, and I can tell you it's fucking horrible. I hate taxes in Germany. It's so bad. It's so on the one hand it's super high, of course, but I can change that, and that's okay. That's also part of the reason why Germany is so successful, right? But on the other hand, it's also extremely difficult, and especially crypto taxes. Like, nobody really knows how to tax anything, and nobody really knows if it's legal or not, and there's so much to consider. So I've been reading a lot about that. And also, I actually wanted to mention this. I think, you've seen that there are many pools in Germany, and I know many German stake pool operators personally. And I believe that Germans own a lot of ADA. Like, a lot of capital is in Germany because, Germany is a rich country. It's the country with the most stake pools probably outside of the US. And Yeah. So I think there's a lot of capital here, but much of this capital is actually not staked on stake pools at the moment because of the tax system in Germany. So if you stake on a stake pool in Germany, it's not quite sure, not on a stake pool in Germany, but as a German, if you hold ADA and you stake on a stake pool, it's not quite sure how the taxes are handled. And I've talked to many people who contacted me via email or something, who all face this problem that they are not sure how to tax their staking rewards and how to tax their ADA. And that's why they're afraid of staking, and that's why they don't stake. And we are currently not sure where we're at. Let's check this real quick. So we are at 70% of all ADA staked, right? And I'm pretty sure that probably around 5 to 10% of all this non-staked ADA is from Germany and is not staked because people are scared of it. Simple as that. Yeah, just a quick intervention there. So, to continue my original ramble, it's not very organized today. My head is kind of spinning. My original ramble. Okay, so I'm founding this company with my friends, and I'm also founding this company for the stake pool. And I'm also writing my bachelor thesis about Cardano, which I want to put in as a Project Catalyst proposal at some point. Also, the insurance thing, of course, will be in Catalyst at some point. And my goal personally is to live like this whole digital nomad lifestyle, to be honest, because I'm in a very privileged situation right now. I can live off the stake pool in theory, and that's what I'm planning to do in the future. And I want to, of course, found a company and stuff, but I can do that from anywhere. That's so cool about being a software developer and then doing your own thing. And I will just live for a month in some random cities like Hong Kong. I really want to live in Hong Kong for a while, in Bangkok, or I don't know, Southeast Asia, and maybe Africa. I just want to see the world because I'm 22 now, and I'm becoming 23 in a few weeks actually. And I'm very young, and I'm very committed to Cardano and committed to building something great, but I'm also committed to seeing the world and experiencing all that stuff. And I just can't live in this small town where I'm currently at anymore. So I need to get out of here, and I want to do this as soon as possible. Hopefully this year, maybe in August, maybe in September, who knows. And then I'm gonna be living remotely, switching countries every month, I don't know yet, and building amazing stuff on Cardano. That's my main goal, right? So building amazing stuff on Cardano while traveling the world, and I'm happy. And I just realized this video was also really long again, because I'm just very bad at talking very concisely. Concisely, is that a word? Yeah, I think so. Oh, plusnet. Wow. And I don't even know them. Yeah, okay. Let's not get sidetracked here. I think that's actually all that I wanted to say and show you today. I think it's a very exciting time for me. It's a very exciting time for Cardano in itself. Of course, you all know that. There's so much coming. And somehow, everything is kind of aligning right now. It all fits so perfectly, and I'm just gonna use these opportunities and make the best of it. And if you want to, somehow support this vision and support me being able to live off the stake pool and me being able to build amazing stuff on Cardano and for Cardano, then please consider staking your ADA on Babel, as always, of course. Check out my website, pool-of-babel.com, subscribe, all that stuff, you know it, you know the drill, and thank you for watching. So see you soon.